All right, so for today's video, we're going to be going over how to request historical data for a system that we'll use to build a plot and decide what the relationship is between two binary stars or a double star system with multiple components, right? So the first step for doing this is we need to know what star we're going to be researching. So hopefully you've already got that all picked out on the WDS catalog. The next step is to find out how we're going to request this information. So, like most things that we're doing with this project, we're going to go to the WDS catalog. And if you just Google that and click on the top link, it'll take you there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to contents down to this requests and acknowledgements. We'll click on this. And then there's a lot of text here, but we're going to read down until we find the second hyperlink, which is titled You May Request. So you just click the request. And this is going to be the page telling us what we do to request data. So we're going to be doing just a regular data request. So it has a couple things it wants us to do. It says if you want additional information, please provide either the WDS designation or Discoverer designation, and please make the subject line data request. Right, so that's fairly straightforward. And then who do we send it to? We send it to Rachel A. Matson 2.civ at usnavy.mil. So the important thing here to notice, even though it says parentheses at parentheses, what it really wants there is an at symbol, right? So when we type that in, I'll show you how we're going to type that out. That's fairly simple, fairly straightforward. So now we know what we want, right? So we need a WDS designation and we're ready to go. So I just have an example here of one that I've sent in the past. I said, hello, Dr. Matson. So important thing here, I said doctor, right? So when we're requesting this data, we're requesting from another academic professional to help us out. So one thing we need to do is we need to be extremely professional when we do this, and we need to be respectful. And so number one, we're going to assume that they have the highest degree possible for whatever they're doing. If we're wrong, they'll just tell us, oh, I'm actually not a doctor, I'm such and such, and it's fine. But it's better to assume higher than it is to assume a lower. It's kind of disrespectful if we were to accidentally do that, right? So assuming just doctor for anyone who is a scientific professional isn't a bad way to go. When you're talking about other professionals, the nomenclature changes here, but the best way to do it for astronomers, at least, we're assuming doctor, we're assuming they have their PhD, right? So here's my email. I just said, hey, my name's Harrison. Would you be able to send me the historical data for the double star system? And this is a double star system I did in the past. It's just the designation, the Discover designation. So I'll show you where we get that too. Or excuse me, this is the, as it says here, this is the WDS designation, not the Discover designation. So I just put that in there. I said, if there's any other information you need, please let me know. I'll get it to you as soon as possible. Thank you, Harrison, right? So this is a great one. So remember, one thing that we want to include, we want to have our subject line. So this is the subject line in the email. We want that to be titled data request because that's how they asked us to do it, and that's how they'll know what to do, right? An important thing, you'll notice I wrote out my email in Word. I like to do this because if you screw up something here, you can edit it, you can change it, and it's not going to send an unedited, incorrect version to the person you're trying to reach. So if you're ever writing an email that you consider to be at least somewhat important, it's a great idea just to write it up in Word and copy it and paste it on over into your email, right? So one last thing, just with this, we needed to be able to find the WDS designation. The easiest way to do this, if we just go back here a couple times, when we go to the WDS catalog, we just click our hours section, right? For whatever star, you're going to go find your star wherever it is. But this very first column here is actually the WDS identifier, as it says. So the number that we're going to send is just this first bit. It's not the discoverer, right? Not that number, but it's just the identifier. So for this star, it'd be this, include the ES, but you don't need the 704. Right? And then on the ones where it's joined, that's a little bit more difficult. You could probably just send the whole thing and you'd be okay. But most of the stars that you'll be doing aren't going to be all the way out. Most of them will just go to this point and be done. So you'll just copy this over, and when you copy it, you'll just paste it on into your Word document like I did here, and then this will be the email you send, and you're ready to go. You'll just email it to the email that it was talking about, that Rachel A. Matson, and once again, just requests. You'll email it to this email address here, and you'll be ready to go. And then when you get the email back, I have a copy of one I've got back from Dr. Matson. Importantly, look, she is a PhD. So it's a good thing that we addressed it as doctor, right? because we've correctly assumed that she's the top in her field at this point. And she just sent me this email. She said, here's attached the information. And when it comes back attached with a key to understanding the data and with the data itself. So I'm just going to open it up to show you what it looks like. So this is what it's going to come like. It's just going to be a text file, really. And it's kind of hard to decipher. It doesn't say what each of the columns means, which is kind of rough. So that's what you use the data request key for. So if we pull this up, it tells us, what the different columns mean, and it describes sort of everything that they've put in here. So feel free to look through here to understand your data request, but I'll give you a little hint. This will help you. The only important information we really want from this for us is we need to know the year, right? Which is going to be in this first column. We also need to know the separation and the position angle. So this first column here is the year. The second column here is the separation, the row. Skip a column. This third column is the position angle, right? So maybe you won't even need to go look at your data request key because I've given you the 3 columns that we care about, right? So once you have this information, you'll follow the other video that tells you how you're going to be able to make a historical plot and historical table. But thank you guys for watching.